And welcome back to Comic Frontline, everybody. I am Brant Fowler, aka the Gonzo Goose, back with you for another review, another all-new, all-different Marvel #1 review, Uncanny Avengers #1. This is written by Jerry Duggan with art by Ryan Stegman, and this is the team that features Old Man Steve Rogers, Deadpool, Rogue, the Human Torch, Quicksilver, Synapse, Dr. Voodoo, and Rogue. Did I say Rogue already? And temporarily Spider-Man. Very early on in this issue, well, the issue opens up with this old man who's got cancer, and he's not doing so well. And then he gets engulfed in an inhuman cocoon as the Terrigen Mist kind of surrounds him. So we learn very fast that this guy is inhuman, and he's going all over the world and seeing how terrible that men and women, humans, have used up the resources of the earth and all that kind of stuff. So he's got some kind of connection to nature in some way, shape, or form that we're not totally clear on yet. Meanwhile, the Avengers are trying to keep things together. It's basically the same kind of concept of the previous Uncanny Avengers volume, I guess you'd say, where then it was a combination of mutants and humans together trying to make this Avengers Unity Squad. Now they've added Inhumans, Synapse as the Inhuman, into the mix as well, trying to, say that, okay, we've accepted all of them. And they have a mission early on, but Deadpool's in the mission too, and Spider-Man's really not happy about this, and really early on things just kind of fall apart with the team. Quicksilver's taking personal time. He's somewhere off somewhere that we don't know yet at this point. He comes into play later in the issue though. Excuse me, allergies. Spider-Man is really unhappy about Deadpool being on the team, and he finally just tells Steve, and this is just a minor spoiler, but he tells Steve, you know what, either Deadpool goes or I go. And Captain America's like, I vouch for Deadpool, and Spider-Man says, okay, I'm gone. And he just walks off. And Johnny Storm tries to get him back and everything. I won't give too much away about that. Steve Rogers is backing Deadpool and Synapse. Rogue has a problem with Synapse because the Terrigen Mist is affecting mutants in a way, and we learn how deeply it's affecting Rogue later on in the issue. But she has a problem with Synapse kind of being on the team, and she says it during a press conference and actually calls the Terrigen Mist this inhuman poison, which makes a headline, and so it's bad PR. And so you got all these little frictions between everybody on the team, and Steve Rogers is trying to keep them together and keep them unified. And all the while we have this thing going on in Boston, I think. Yeah, it was Boston, where all these mutated creatures, giant bees, and these plants that hatch into these wild animals and stuff are attacking and everything. And we find out it's this certain villain that we assume is the old man from the beginning of the issue. And it's minor spoiler again, his name is the Shredded Man, and he's got a really cool looking costume. So it was a very interesting opening story. I was actually really interested in the short preview we got in Avengers #0 of this particular story. It was Steve Rogers choosing Deadpool to be on the team, making him an official Avenger, and it kind of pulled me in, and actually Lisa as well. She really wanted to read this book, so we both read it, and we're going to be talking about it on Zone 4 later this morning, live on Comic Frontline, so you guys should check that out. Episode something, 300 something, I don't remember even, 318 maybe, somewhere around there. But it'll be live on Comic Frontline later this morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time, ish, you know us. But yeah, I thought this was a really good opening issue. It kind of established this new team. It established each one of the members of this team. Some of them we already knew, they were already on the team. Some are new, like Synapse. That friction just kind of sets the tone for the book. Yes, it's always kind of had that friction because you've always had the differences in ideologies between the team members on this team, but now it's slightly different because you're adding in a third element with the Inhumans. And Synapse is kind of shy. She's kind of backwards. She doesn't say a whole lot. And so we don't know what's going to come into play with all of that. We don't know what Quicksilver's been up to. And there's just all these little elements. We don't know how serious the condition with Rogue is and what's going to happen there. Is Spidey ever going to come back? We don't know. There's all these different things at play. And this new villain looks really cool, interesting. I'm not crazy about the whole controlling nature thing, but they twisted it to where, like I said, he makes giant bees and grows these dog-like creatures out of plants and stuff. It's really a different kind of power, and I'm not sure exactly with a name like the Shredded Man what exactly his power set is, what that entails. So it's going to be interesting learning that. So I thought it was a really well-constructed story. Jerry Duggan has been writing Deadpool for a long time, and I feel like he gave us enough of that humorous Deadpool, but he toned it back to where Deadpool didn't overweigh the rest of the characters. He didn't shine here. He just became one of the key components of the book, which I really appreciate that, because I was kind of afraid that Deadpool would just kind of chew the scenery, basically. But he did not here. So I was pleasantly surprised by that. Ryan Stegman's art, I love his art. I think he's a fantastic artist. It is very stylized, so if you're not into stylized art, you might not like it, but I think he is a fantastic artist, and for a book that strongly depicts Deadpool and all these very interesting characters like the Shredded Man, like Quicksilver, like Synapse, I think the style really fits this kind of book. And the colors were gorgeous in this book. They really popped, especially like the Human Torch's fire was just all over the place. I love Human Torch's new costume too. It's like yellow and black and everything, and he talks about, oh, I miss my other team, and there's just these little jabs here and there, and I thought it was a really well done issue, a really good first issue. It wasn't the best Marvel #1 I've read in this new set of Marvel #1 issues, really by far. I mean, Amazing Spider-Man and Invincible Iron Man last week, but it was a really solid opening, so I'm definitely interested to see what happens beyond this first issue. I want to know how the friction between these characters progresses, if they can come together as a team, what it's going to be like to have Deadpool on an Avengers team, and all these other elements in the book. So it's very interesting, and I'm going to give Uncanny Avengers #1, I'm going to give it a 3.75 out of 5. I thought it was solid. It was better than a 3.5, but not quite to a 4, just because it is a lot of establishing the characters and the team and the new status quo. But for the art alone, I think it deserves that high of a ranking. And like I said, the story was solid. I enjoyed the character development here, and I'm really curious to see what happens from here on. So that's your review, 3.75 for Uncanny Avengers #1. Not a bad book at all. So check out all the other reviews here on Comic Frontline. We'll all be putting up our reviews of the Marvel #1s and various other books throughout the week. Tune in Tuesdays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, or around there, for the live show as we do our top 5s news and comic discussion. Check out all the other content here and on ComicFrontline.com. And if you want to check out my stuff, you can check out LastEmberPress.com for my publishing company, what we're putting out, what we've got coming up. We got Chocolate Pancake Ninja, we've got a convention coming up. Zone4podcast.com, like I said, next episode of Zone 4 is today. Audio version will be up tomorrow. And you can check out Chris's channel, 123 Podcast, our wrestling podcast, will be up today as well on his channel, Dark Avenger C86. And Hit Points will be finally coming back tomorrow. So check all that out. And as always, leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought of this issue, if you agree with my rating or not, and what you would like to see out of the book. And until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.